we can see God reflected in all that exists. Our hearts are moved to praise the Lord for all his creatures and to worship him in union with them. This sentiment finds magnificent expression in the hymn of St. Francis of Assisi. Praise be to you, my Lord, with all your creatures, especially Sir Brother Sun, who is the day and through whom you give us light. For he is beautiful and radiant with great splendor, and bears a likeness of you. Most high, praise be you, my Lord, through Sister Moon and the stars in heaven. You formed them clear and precious and beautiful. Praise be you, my Lord, through Brother Wind and through the air, cloudy and serene, and every kind of weather, through whom you give sustenance to your creatures. Praise be you, my Lord, through Sister Water, who is very useful and humble and precious and chaste. Praise be you, my Lord, through Brother Fire, through whom you light the night, and he is beautiful and playful and robust and strong. Hello, I am Dr. C. Vanessa White, Assistant Professor of Spirituality and Ministry and the Director of the Augustus Tolton Pastoral Ministry Program. Praise and gratitude. As people of God, we are called to have an attitude of gratitude. This attitude can shape all that we do and the persons that we are. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18, St. Paul states that in all things give thanks, for this is the will of God. The spiritual practice of giving thanks and praise for God's creation, of having an attitude of gratitude, can inspire us to treat all of God's creation as gift and as sacred. In the book Practicing Our Faith, Craig Dystra and Dorothy Bass write of the value and power of spiritual practices. They state that practices make a space for God's active presence, are transformative, and lead us to a new way of life. Now, the challenge for us today in our busy lives has been in returning to some of the Christian spiritual practices that would lead us to a new way of life and renew the face of the earth. We have been so busy that we have taken for granted God's gift of creation. We have become so preoccupied with busyness, with the troubles of the world, that we have neglected to take the time to be inspired, to be humbled, to be grateful for what St. Francis describes in his Canticle of the Creatures as the beauty, the splendor of the sun, the moon, the water, fire, and all of creation. Our resources are precious to God and should be precious to us also. We have taken for granted what God has so lovingly created. Now, returning to an attitude of gratitude helps us to once again take the time to reflect, to stop, and recognize the awesomeness of God's creation. But how do we do this? I suggest that each evening before going to bed, to take some time to reflect on the beauty of God's creation. Maybe even take some time at the end of the day to step outside and take a moment to be still, recognize the sacred, and to give thanks. What we focus on is what we give power to. Focusing on an attitude of gratitude, taking the time to change our way of seeing all that God has created, can then move us to see how precious our resources are, how connected we are to them, and to work to make a change. So let us give thanks and praise.
This has been a presentation of Catholic Theological Union. For additional videos and podcasts, or to learn more, please visit www.ctu.edu or visit learn.ctu.edu.